Yo, Tony, LA City of Chaos. I'm here to talk about something new for once. I know it's been like a month or something like that, and I haven't really talked to the camera in a minute. But I'm gonna go see Six Feet Under in about a few hours from now, and so I'm not really doing anything. I just decided to ramble a little bit. And what I feel like talking about right now is kind of something that I saw recently, and I found it really quite bizarre. Also, check out the new setup here. We got the Fuel by Fire. We got some, LA thrash, and then we got Exodus, which is Bay Area thrash. Like, we have some thrash stuff in the back. My friend really does not like this band, but especially because it has like the emo choking thing. I thought it was pretty fine. And oh yeah, you can probably see the Profanatica discussing blasphemies against God all the way over there. You know, we got some things. We got some things going on. But anyways, what I felt like talking about was something that I saw, while just like scrolling around on the internet and stuff like that. Um, a name that might be familiar with you guys, especially if you have been a fan of Dark Angel and people like Gene Hoglan of Dark Angel, is Reverse Records. And Reverse Records were the ones that put out that one Dark Angel album that was like their comeback Extinction Level event. And I think a lot of people agree with me when they say that that album was honestly dreadful. Like not even in a they're a washed up thrash metal band sort of way, but in a this is some of the worst songwriting and most obnoxious performances I've ever heard type of like horrific. Um, and there was a lot of things that were with that record. Namely, the drum production was one of the big things that was a bit of a distraction. But also, there was the AI album cover. And I know that is kind of a moot point when talking about the music, because I mean, like, while it isn't very common for a lot of bands to write good music when they use AI because it kind of shows where their standards lie. As in, you've, I think every Pestilence record that has used AI in the album cover has been fucking dreadful. And well, I like that Deicide album. I'm struggling to remember the name. I know it has that one song, "Woke Against God," and I think it's also "Bury Your Cross with Your Christ," if I'm not mistaken. And I think "Banished from Sin" or some shit it's called. Hopefully I'm right on that. I mean, it's been a minute since I've listened to it, but um, you know, a lot of these tend to not be very good. Like the closest thing to something of value was that Deicide album, and um, truthfully, there isn't really much you could expect when you see an AI album cover. But I thought the AI album cover was the end of it in terms of like these like popular metal bands. Like generally they just do like the album cover, like Armored Saint did the album cover, but they don't really implement it into the music. Or if they do, it isn't it's very minimal. Maybe for like some interlude no one gives a fuck about anyways, right? But the reason I felt like talking about Reverse Records is I kind of feel like the degree to which they have lost their mind in putting out shitty like music. Um, yeah, no, it's rough out there. It really is because there's this new project that they were really touting recently called Spiritual Aggression, and I think something that had caught my eye about it was first off the entire like concept they were pushing about the record. It's about this super anonymous figure called the Ghost, and about his wife dying from cancer. And it's like, okay, that's sweet. It's probably like a very deeply impassioned project. But a major thing about this record is that almost all of the promo used AI, and pretty much all of it seems to be very AI oriented. And you can like scroll through the band's social media, and it will say like, um, it will have this guy talking to the camera with an AI filter, with the blatant like male AI voice, just about like either the album or it'll be like an AI visual or even real life people like the person that had apparently played drums for the album, Rob Shellcross, I think his name is. Um, Even when he speaks, it's mostly AI. So it kind of brings the question of like, what the hell is going on here? Because we don't really know who this ghost guy is, and I feel like there's a proper reasoning for that. It's because he probably has some, part in the metal scene, and he knows that AI will make him get made fun of to the point where people won't really take him seriously anymore. And the thing is with this like spiritual aggression, Ghost of My Dead Wife album, is that it sounds suspiciously like there's a lot of AI that he used in it. Like, not only in the vocals, but I also have some suspicions of the guitars, and I even feel like the drums that have allegedly been played by a human were ran through an AI filter at some point because it just sounds off. Not completely off to the point where it sounds something like one of those other AI metal projects like King Cobra JFS, rest in peace. His AI heavy metal songs. They had a different production value than this, and I do feel like there was like genuinely some form of mixing and mastering, and they've admitted themselves that there was some AI and like analog stuff in the mix of the record. So it kind of brings like the question of like, okay, what the hell is going on here, right? So I try my fucking darndest to see if there's like anything I can find about the record, and it's just really confusing as to what the hell is going on here. Because not only is this spiritual aggression album probably AI, but like this the ghost fella like has this really, I don't even know what the fuck to call it. This this reggae project, which whose name I can't even recall other than it being fucking awful. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Uh I just remember it like, how spiritual aggression I suspect has some AI to the point where it's pretty heavily filled with it. Yeah, this like reggae record, yeah, the Most High or whatever has this "Give Me Your Black Soul" project, and it's just blatantly not the same singer. It just isn't. So like that kind of brings the question as to like what the hell is this spiritual aggression? Who is the singer? The obvious answer is that it's just AI, right? It sounds like AI. You can kind of hear some AI artifacts when there's like clean vocal parts. And even in the song structures, it kind of takes a lot of octane core sort of like AI moments, and it just doesn't sound good. And it's kind of funny because even though it sounds closer to some shit like, I don't know, Bring Me the Horizon or Bad Omens than it does like any real death metal record. Like there's no fucking trace of Deicide here, no trace of Cannibal Corpse, no, none of that shit. Like I don't even know if they've heard a thrash metal record in their lives. It's like that level of like disgusting. Um, it's like pretty obviously like AI utilized, and the reggae project is even more blatant about it, but they kind of pretend like it's not by not mentioning whether or not they use AI in the music for some aspects of it. They kind of pretend like it's almost an all or nothing thing, but it's like, you know, for this Most High reggae project, it just says music by the Ghosts, words by Rob Shellcross, aka The Wizard, produced and mixed by The Wizard, and it's like, I guess Rob Shellcross's friend is this guy who is really an AI usage, but I don't even know. It sounds fucking awful. But if you want to look that up, you could look it up yourself. I'm not gonna play any clips from it because I'm sure it's not gonna result in them being exactly happy with me, provided they look their names up and see like the title has Reverse Records lost their mind. But I think the more concerning thing is a lot of these like modern guys like Gene Hoglan is promoting this project actively. Like he's seen holding the CD, and like Gene Hoglan's a part of this label, and Dark Angel as a band and probably just in general are not afraid to use AI whatsoever. So it just kind of raises the question of like, what the fuck? What is going on here? Who is this? The ghost guy? Is this someone who's probably a big part of the industry? I wouldn't be surprised, but it certainly spell a fucking grim statement in terms of have the Dark Angel guys lost their goddamn mind, because I kind of feel like this can only mean the worst for the future of Gene Hoglan's music, for the future of everyone involved in Dark Angel and their side projects. And I just don't really feel confident about it. Like, look at how fucking hideous this album cover is, dude. Do you see that? Like, that is like the most AI thing I've ever seen. The only thing I can compare it to is like Merzbow's god awful, um, AI album covers that they've been doing recently. But like, I don't even think Merzbow uses AI in the music to, um, the sort of degree where it just makes like schlocky metalcore or reggae or whatever the hell the guy wants to do at that moment in time. But it's so hideous, and I feel like it's almost trying to get some sleep token attention by acting mysterious. But I feel like the real reason they're being mysterious is because if they post these bizarre AI, AI pictures and just make AI music, it's easier to get away with it by just not putting a face behind it. But it's also like I'm gonna be honest, I don't even think this is a real image. But to be fair, it does still say that Gene Hoglan and Dark Angel are a part of the label. But you listen to it, and it's just why. And it also kind of brings into question if the spiritual aggression, backstory is to be believed, where uh, the person behind its wife of 20 years had died of cancer, and they made this in tribute to her. I feel like there's something disingenuous about using a robotic AI voice um, to essentially communicate that pain, that like hurt that can come from, having to cope with the loss of a loved one. But that's what the majority of the record is. Instead of properly emoting it, even if the vocals fucking sucked, I feel like you could get more gen, genuineness out of just using your actual voice. And the guy doesn't. Instead, he just lets AI do the majority of the legwork for him. And it also kind of calls into question, like, if the vocals are AI, what about the lyrics? I mean, it says that it doesn't say that Rob Shall Cross wrote the lyrics or anything like that. So I'm kind of having my doubts as to whether or not he even really has a penchant for writing lyrics, or he just kind of gave a few prompts and tweaked them a bit, and that was it. And I think he's even aware that AI is not really viewed upon favorably, because he even makes these like funny like gotcha posts of like, I use AI, but you don't, and look at what you've done. It's maybe you should have used AI in your music type. Like, it's kind of obnoxious, and it sometimes kind of detracts from um the idea of the dead wife music part of it, where it's made in tribute, and it doesn't feel genuine when he's posting pictures of himself eating McDonald's and like making shit posts on his Instagram page for an album that is supposedly in tribute to a loved one. And I'm sure there could be some legitimate pain behind it, but AI will not translate it at all, man. It far from translated. It's like the exact opposite of being helpful in any sense of the word. And the more I think about it, the more it kind of makes me want to pop a blood vessel. If you want to like listen to that, spiritual aggression goes to my dead wife record, and you really shouldn't. Like, even if it was all like not AI beyond like, I don't know, one aspect of it, the music itself is shitty metalcore. It's like octane core nonetheless. It's not even like a, oh yeah, they're writing like at the gates riffs and having like clean song parts. No, this is full blown shitty octane core. Like, this is like Bad Omens music, and for some reason they're promoting it as death metal and putting it on the same goddamn label as Dark Angel, where most people on who are aware of Reverse Records know that label because of Dark Angel. I don't think anyone's really listening to this, and also they have their comments turned off on everything, so they're not really receptive of criticism. They're not gonna be happy when I like put this out, I'm sure. And like, again, utmost sympathy for the guy if he like legitimately lost his wife. I'm sure that is a horrible thing, you know. I haven't lost anyone as significant as that in my life, you know, that I can name, but you know, I'm a rather youthful person. I'm just kind of into this stuff. But like, as like a young person who like is kind of understanding of these things, I do a lot of psychology work, and um, you know, the human mind can definitely like be something that understands it. All that really matters is that the person behind it gets some solace behind making the music. But um, when it's put out there to the public eye, I can't help but feel like the music itself comes off disingenuous, especially when he's making all these like retorts of, haha, I make AI and my music is amazing, while your music doesn't use AI and it fucking sucks. Like, okay, dude, you can make your own music, but you don't gotta bring other people down with you just because people are criticizing you for using AI, especially because of the environmental concerns that it poses. Like, that is something completely valid to be criticized for, and I feel like you just come off like an asshole. And seriously, I hope you're doing better, and you do seem to be doing better because you're just having a fun time on your Instagram page. But it just come off so gross, and I really wish the guys from Dark Angel would not be condoning this. Um, and it just comes off really badly for everyone involved. Um, Genuinely. But I guess considering that Dark Angel are the type to do paid meet and greets and paid signatures, like, yeah, it doesn't shock me that they're willing to try and make as much money as possible by saving money on a recording budget. Um, and so, fucking whatever. I guess if you do choose to support the project, all the funds, I believe all the profits will go to, I believe a cancer charity, which I think is pretty sweet of them. I will give them that. Um, though I do personally believe that if it's a free download, then it's probably better to just directly donate. Um, because if it's all profits, then that means they are, you know, trying to at least break even and pocket some of the change. And I feel like if you want to make more of a positive impact, you could specifically donate to a charity as a whole and do a lot better as a cause. That's basically all I have to say, really. I guess this isn't really related, but I did see the mentors yesterday, and I got this pretty sweet shirt. Really quite happy with it. Um, I do want to say I really hope the best for Steve Roy, as I did hear that he's battling Parkinson's, and it kind of resulted in him not showing up to the show. I mean, I've seen him play with the rest of the band as is, and he actually does a pretty decent job, despite everything, him having to sit down and not exactly being in the best shape in the world. But um, you know, as far as it goes, I am doing pretty well for myself. I am pretty excited to see 6 Feet Under tonight. Maybe I'll make a follow up, you know, talking about 6 Feet Under and Maybe the new album, maybe I'll buy it if they have it in stock at the CD place, and maybe I'll make it into like a sort of review. I do have thoughts on the record already that I have talked about with other people in the past before, but I really want to talk about it perhaps in depth. Um, Other than that, I mean, there isn't really much else I can say. I mean, I got some pretty cool patches recently. Like, look at this: Tormentor, Celtic Frost, Tank, Armored Saint, Carcass, Danzig, and Bloodstone patches. Like, yeah. That, I guess if I want to talk more about other stuff, I'll probably just make it into an excuse me into another video. But as of right now, that's all I feel like I have to say. All right, Tony, LA City of Chaos. I'm out. Peace.